Aloha. This video is in support of Tulsi Gabbard for President of the United States in 2020. I first learned about Tulsi Gabbard a few years ago, and I didn't really know much about her back then, but it was about a year ago I saw her interview with Joe Rogan, and I was just struck by how articulate and genuine she seemed. She seemed very honest, and I really liked her take on foreign policy. She's a combat soldier in Iraq, and her whole non-interventionist ideas really struck home with me. As you can see on a website here, we must end the wasteful wars. This brings me to the famous warning that Dwight Eisenhower made in his farewell address, warning about the military-industrial complex. Just to play you a little bit of that if you haven't seen this yet.
But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. We annually spend on military security alone more than the net income of all United States corporations.
That just gives you some idea. He does actually call out the military-industrial complex later in that video. So if we look at our military bases in the Middle East, you can see in Africa, around the world, I think it's like 700 military bases in 70 different countries. So this has just gotten worse and worse as the years have gone by. Our military footprint is pretty much everywhere in the world. I no longer think that we need to be the world's policeman. At some point, growing up 10, 20 years ago, I may have thought that, but after listening to Tulsi saying we don't need to be the world's policeman anymore, we can bring our troops home, really just struck a chord with me. If we look at the military expenditures from 2018, we can see that the United States spends so much more than any other country, $648 billion per year. As opposed to Russia, you can see Russia here, $61 billion per year. And this is why I don't think the argument's made, if we do bring our troops home from the Middle East, that Russia is going to set up camp in those areas. I mean, Russia is going to go bankrupt if they try to do that with this type of military budget. Plus, with what happened to them in Afghanistan, I really would be surprised if Russia had any interest at all in occupying any areas long term. Some of the waste in the military. This is a fighter jet called the F-35, if you've never heard of it. It's basically been over budget, overpriced, and it was meant to be kind of a one-size-fits-all fighter jet that works with different parts of our military. But guess how much this is? One of these fighter jets. $100 million just for one. Just imagine what we could do with that money, with the bad water in Flint, or the floods, the droughts, the fires, the climate change we're seeing in the United States now. Just think what we could do with $100 million. And we have It's a story from a few months ago. 103 lawmakers want to actually build more of these F-35s. They would have had 24 more than what the budget what President Trump's budget asked for. We don't need these. This is just wasteful spending. We need to bring those dollars back. What Tulsi calls the peace dividend. We need to bring this money back and use it for infrastructure, to battle climate change. We can use it in our healthcare system. Different ways we can use that money back home. This anti-war message also resonates with Ron Paul libertarians from the right. And I just think Tulsi has the best cross-party appeal with any candidate. I think she is the best candidate to beat Donald Trump. In addition to, I just think she's the best candidate in my lifetime. So that's it. That's the main reason I'm supporting Tulsi, and I'll be doing more videos, hopefully on some of her other policies, and also talking about some of the smears that also made me more supportive of her. Thank you.